Hi, this is Graphically Alex coming at you with all things fat related. If that's something that interests you, please subscribe. I'd love to have you. And today we are going to be dealing with a dietitian that is actively attempting to normalize obesity. And I want to say that I don't know if there are some people in my audience that are just totally zombified, which that could be what it is. Maybe like a level 1 zombie. So meaning somebody who's not totally in the E followed by the letter D, or not totally TR, as I would say on the channel. They just have like an inability to read into anything that a person is saying. It's like there's some people that are extremely literal. And I do think that that can be a risk factor for level 1 zombie because you're very easily emotionally manipulated. If you always look at everything somebody says with in a completely literal way. But you have to understand, this is not a secret cabal. Somebody tried to accuse me of stating that. This is not a secret. They actively state it. You just don't listen. You just don't understand the language. Or you don't understand, maybe some people, English is a second language or something, honestly. Because they flat out say what they're saying. Just because she doesn't say, I am normalizing obesity, doesn't mean that that isn't exactly her goal. So let's go ahead and listen to her. They do not hide what they are doing. This is not secret. They are very obviously working together within institutions. They state their purposes constantly. They want to normalize obesity. They have largely succeeded in that. Just because I point that out, it doesn't mean I'm reading into something. It's like people are very, very disingenuous at times, but either that or they're just very easily manipulated. And as an activist, I have to educate you because apparently you don't understand English that well. So we're going to listen to her. I want you to listen to what she's saying and tell me that that is not normalizing obesity. Let's go.
I fear we have lost the plot. You're telling me that if someone is classified as obese, which, by the way, is just a ratio of your height to weight, that if someone who is obese is eating vegetables, lifting weights, getting sleep, managing stress, they have stable blood pressure, and their labs are good, that's still not good enough for you? This comment came from a video where I was talking about how I went to the doctor, they weighed me, and then on my after visit summary, it said that I am obese based on BMI. Even though I'm lifting weights, drinking my water, getting my protein, my fiber, all that good stuff, I'm engaging in all of these health promoting behaviors, and my weight just happens to be into the category of obesity. But that does not automatically mean that I'm not healthy. What's not clocking to y'all? What else would you define as healthy if not engaging in health promoting behaviors? Because I can tell you for sure, it is not thinness. Thinness is not just a different word, a synonym for health. I fear we have...
So, because she didn't directly state, I want to normalize obesity, does that mean that that's not her intention or that's not what she's doing? Are you able to process that? Are some of you able to process what somebody is stating? Unless if they have to say it extremely direct. If you are that person, I'm so sorry. You are very, very easy to manipulate. And you need to be careful about who you're listening to. I will tell you that. If you cannot look at somebody's intentions, if you basically are like AI and you cannot understand subtext of what people are saying, that is how this issue has gotten so bad. Now, I think most people can understand. I think the vast majority of people can understand what she's saying, but most people don't care. That's the problem that I face as an activist, is most people have a lack of care. She is a dietitian. So that means that she is telling people how to eat. She is telling people how to eat, and she is normalizing obesity. Do you think that that's a conflict of interest? Do you think that that's an issue? Do you not think it's an issue? Tell me how it isn't an issue in the comments if you don't. Tell me that this is paranoia from me, apparently. Whereas I would state, this is gaslighting from you, or this is you not wanting to accept that something is currently happening. Not even that it's just happening now, that it's been happening for years. Are you able to accept reality? Are you able to hear what she's saying, see that she is a dietitian, see what she's putting into her sphere of influence? And are you dumb enough to think that she's the only one? She's the anomaly. No, I'll keep showing you more and more. That's my point. This isn't secret. This isn't, oh, we just don't know, or oh gosh, or this is a conspiracy theory. This is not a conspiracy theory. This isn't, I don't even know if it's a conspiracy, because I feel like a conspiracy is somewhat hidden. This is a statement of intention. This is what we're doing. They don't even hide it at all. That's not subtle. That's not like, oh, I don't know. I gotta get the tarot deck out. I gotta try to see what she's saying here. What's her intention here? No. Use your fucking brain. I need you to have a brain. If you are being that dumb that you cannot understand her intention based upon what she's saying, then you are a part of the problem. I will say that till the cows come home. You are why they are taking over. You. It's your fault. Because you're not able to look at this. And then you're coming to my channel and you're telling me to shut up. You're telling me that I'm paranoid. No, you're just dumb. That's the truth. You're just an idiot. That's the reality of the situation. This is real. This is happening. This is in plain sight. This is not a secret. So we're going to go ahead and break it down piece by piece. I'm going to see if I can make the comment bigger. Okay. The comment says, how does lifting weights, eating veggies, and all that other stuff negate being obese in any way? Like, I'm happy for you that you're maintaining all these healthy interests, but you're still obese. So what are my thoughts on obesity in general? Obesity in general, even class 1 obesity, it's not healthy for you. You're going to end up having more insulin resistance than somebody who isn't obese. There's mental health effects at class 1 obesity. There's hormonal effects at class 1 obesity. Class 1 obesity is not really arguable within a BMI context. You can make an argument within the overweight range, depending on your body composition. So that's where things start to get a little bit more subjective, is when we get into overweight. Overweight, I think it should be more based on body fat percentage, but class 1 obesity, you don't really have a reason to weigh that much. You could be like an extreme bodybuilder or something, but how many people does that apply to? Very, very, very little, and it would be extremely obvious. And even within that context, if somebody has too much muscle, it's still unhealthy. That's not talked about enough either, but it's honestly so rare that it's almost not even worth saying. 9.5 times out of 10, 9.9 times out of 10, if somebody is obese, they are significantly overweight to the point where it's causing health effects without a debate. You cannot debate it at that point. It's too much. You weigh too much. I don't excuse it on this channel. I am not a fat acceptance channel. I don't accept it. Period. We do not accept that here. Period. I am not obesity acceptance. Period. It is not good for you. Period. I don't give a fuck if she tries to gaslight and say that it's okay. It's not okay. Period.
I fear we have lost the plot.
I fear that you have lost the plot of what the hell your job was supposed to be. You're supposed to be a dietitian. You're supposed to tell people the healthy way to eat. You're not supposed to encourage people to be obese, to stay obese. That is horrible. That is increasing harm. That is not doing what your profession intended to do. You are a crackpot. That's where you have lost the plot, ma'am.
You're telling me that if someone is classified as obese, which, by the way, is just a ratio of your height to weight.
No, it has to do with how much body fat you have on your body, which is hormonally active and has effects.
That if someone who is obese is eating vegetables, lifting weights, getting sleep, managing stress,
it doesn't affect the fact that you have too much body fat on you. It's similar to if somebody was under. It wouldn't matter if they were doing those things. It's still not good for you. It's still a health risk. It's still a health liability. If you do not have enough fat on you, that is also a problem. Having too much is also a problem. What is this argument she's making? Eating vegetables has almost nothing to do with your weight. Literally nothing. Exercise, it has almost nothing to do with your weight other than if you're so big, you can't do it anymore. It's just something you should do, like brushing your teeth. So it has nothing to do with it. This is like her saying, imagine, an obese person is brushing their teeth every night and you're telling them that they're not healthy. It has nothing to do, they have nothing to do with each other. I mean, I'm showering often enough, so I'm healthy. That's what it sounds like to me. It's like, okay, that has nothing to do with your weight, though. Like I said, unless if you got so big that you couldn't do it anymore. It's like, congratulations, your weight is not so much that you're not causing yourself to not be able to do basic tasks. Should we do a clap for you or what? This is ridiculous. So within the context of the toxic ritualistic, especially binge, this is what I like to call performing health. So she is performing health in this moment. It's something that happens when somebody's trying to hide the fact that they have a problem. Why is she trying to hide the fact that she has a problem? Because it's showing she's obese, so she's engaging in the behaviors to a certain extent, and she doesn't want anybody to know that she's doing that, so she lies about it. So what's the difference between an obese person that's in the TR, aka binge, E followed by letter D, or somebody who is not? Is the average obese person that doesn't have the issue will simply say, I consume too much and I'm inactive, or I don't care about it, or I'm not really I know it's bad, but I'm just lazy. If somebody can say that to you, I know, I just eat like shit. So, whatever. It's not a priority for me. That's somebody who's not necessarily TR. But if they have to lie and be like, well, I eat vegetables, I exercise, I do this, I do that, that's a sign that there's a problem. That's performing health. That's called performing health. It's a way to try to hide what you're doing. So again, she's not so big that it's so obvious to everybody that has these problems. But for me and for most people that have had this issue that are honest or self-aware, we can see what she's doing. She's performing health. Why? So she can hide what she's doing. The act of trying to hide, that is TR. That is the zombieism. That's level 2 zombie. That's why I classify her as a stalker. She is in the problem because she has to lie to try to hide that she has a problem. Somebody who doesn't have a problem doesn't have to lie. They don't have to. But she must. Reality must bend. Obesity must be okay in order for her to hide what she's doing. So that's what she attempts to do. It's a huge conflict of interest. So she goes into be a dietitian. She has these mental health issues. Am I sitting here saying she's the most evil person in the whole world and blah, blah, blah? No, I'm not. She's somebody that has a problem. She may not even be aware that she has a problem, but why is nobody else around her catching it? Especially when they should be educated about it in the dietitian field. She should not have an ability to be a dietitian if she has this problem. Why is that allowed? That's my question. That is a systemic failure. That's not just her fault. She shouldn't be allowed to be a dietitian if she has this problem. She's always going to be so biased. She's not going to be able to help anybody. She's more focused on her own coping mechanism and keeping her own coping mechanism alive. And so therefore she will reinforce things into other people, and she will continue to normalize obesity. It's not like a shadow cabal. It's just what's going to happen. If somebody has this mental health issue, they externalize it. They reinforce it in other people. It's a part of it. It is well documented. It is known that this occurs. This is not just an internalized issue. This is internalized and social. It is both. It is also an external issue, which is what makes it so complicated to deal with, because she is encouraging people to be obese. That is what she's doing. That is what she's doing. And her reason why, it's a very selfish reason, but it doesn't matter if it's selfish. She still works with other people in the issue. If you don't understand that, why don't you sit down, shut up, and listen to somebody who does? I understand it. So many people that have had this issue understand it. They understand it. Most average people can understand it within the context of the reductive, but suddenly when fatness is involved, we have no clue. We have no brain cells anymore. We don't understand. Do you understand that within the reductive, there are also comparison aspects too? There are certain reinforcing aspects to seeing somebody bigger than you. Do you understand that? Do you understand how that's a social thing? How that can be coordinated? Especially if other people have the same problem around you? Is that a shadow cabal? No, it's mental illness. It's delusion, and it's group think, group delusion. That happens all the time, even outside of the TR. But it certainly happens within it. If you cannot understand that, you are not a help in this fight at all. If you cannot understand that, then you do not have basic understanding of human psychology. You do not understand how coping mechanisms work. You can understand it in terms of alcoholism. You can understand it in terms of the reductive, but you somehow can't understand it if obesity is involved. Suddenly, I'm speaking crazy talk, and this is a shadow conspiracy. No, it's not. It's just something you don't pay attention to because you don't care about it, or you're within it and you're trying to hide it, which I don't allow. I don't give a fuck what you say about me. I don't give a fuck what you accuse me of. I don't give a fuck if you say this or that, or I'm crazy, or I'm this, or I'm the worst person, I'm the meanest. I don't give a fuck. You're not getting anywhere with me. I've made that clear. I've made it so fucking clear. You will get nowhere with me. Period. I do not reinforce this. I will never reinforce it on my channel. And I will continue to say what they are doing, because most people are busy with their lives and they just don't understand what's happening. And if we want to fight this issue, you have to fight this too. You must.
Stable blood pressure and their labs are good. That's still not good enough.
It isn't good enough. Does that answer your question? It isn't good enough. No, it's not.
For you? This
Nope.
comment came from a video where I was talking about how I went to the doctor, they weighed me, and then on my after visit summary, it said that I am obese based on BMI. Even though I'm lifting weights, drinking
She's rolling her eyes. Okay.
my water, getting my protein, my fiber, all that.
That's nonverbal communication. Is that secret? Is that a conspiracy? She rolled her eyes. That's a conspiracy. Oh my gosh, if you look at somebody rolling their eyes, that's paranoia. Ooh, no. It's emotional reinforcement of her point, which I told you, people within E followed by letter D use emotions. They use emotional manipulation. They use emotional communication. That is how you reinforce. It's the same thing with the way that I talk. I talk very emotionally on this channel because I'm communicating to people that have been in the issue so they understand it. They know that I've been in it because of how I talk about it. The other reason I talk emotionally is because you have to fight them emotionally. It will not go away if you only engage with it logically, because it is inherently illogical. It is a mental health issue, and it's not going to go away with being reasonable, calm, and all that stuff. It doesn't really do anything. You're not going to fight it that way. You might possibly get somebody to consider it if they're by themselves, but if they're in a group, which by the way, social media is public, so she's speaking publicly, so am I, then you have to use emotion. You must. Which again, there are different styles of emotion, but you must use that because that's how this is reinforced. I am telling you how it works, and I am fighting it in the same way, which is why it pisses people off, because I know what I'm doing. So they don't like it. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with being emotional. If somebody is uncomfortable with emotions, it's a little bit unhealthy to be uncomfortable with that. I want you to understand that too. I think that that's something you should explore. You don't have to be super emotional, but if it bothers you that somebody else is, that's your issue. That's your problem.
Good stuff. I'm engaging in all of these health promoting behaviors, and
yes, and you still need to normalize your weight.
My weight just happens to be...
No, it doesn't just happen. It's because of behaviors you're doing. That's why it's there. And those behaviors need to stop.
The category of obesity. But that is not...
No, it's not just happens. It's you consume enough to get there.
Not automatically mean that I'm not...
It does.
Healthy.
That's wrong. It does automatically mean that. Fat is hormonally active. It just means that it's mild. It's a mild issue. But guess what? It's easier to correct when it's mild. It's much harder when it becomes severe. I would know. I've dealt with severe supermorbid obesity. It's very difficult to deal with when you get to that point. It is so much easier to deal with it when you were in class 1. Don't I wish I dealt with it when I was class 1? Yeah, I fucking do wish. Would have saved a lot of pain, a lot of time, a lot of struggle. But all that, it's a part of who I am now. And I take it and I use it. I use it in my activism. I use it in these videos. Because I don't want it to be normalized. I don't want you to make the same mistakes I did. I want you to understand it's a problem. It's just a mild problem, which means it needs to be fixed now. Her TR issue, if something bad happens, it could turn severe. Like this. She is at risk to get worse. People think that this problem starts out at the most extreme because that's how zombies talk about it. That's not true. It slowly develops over years. It slowly develops over time. I didn't become severe in a day. It took years for me to become severe in the TR. So she's just on that path. And she may never get worse because it's awful. The behaviors are awful. It's a horrible experience. So it takes a certain amount of crazy and a certain amount of trauma to actually become severe and stick by it. But she has a mild problem. And in my opinion, having this problem at all is risky because that mild can turn severe. You blink, 3 years have gone by and you're totally fucking delusional and you're nuts. And you have either ballooned or you're losing your hair. You have all these issues going on. You're way under. And it's been 3 years and you're like, and then it's become entrenched in a part of your identity. Then you're dealing with if you're going to live or not. You stomp this shit out like a cockroach in your mind. You kill it immediately. You kill it today. You kill it now. You fight it until it's dead. You do not allow it to be there. You don't tolerate it within your brain either. If you are struggling with these issues, you do not tolerate these issues. You don't tolerate this logic. You kick it out, you stomp it out, you tell it to go fuck itself every second of every day until it's gone, and it will be gone. It absolutely can. It is a zombie lie that you cannot get rid of it. That is not true. So I need you to understand recovery is possible. Regardless, you're not going to be recovered if you're sitting there normalizing obesity. She is nowhere near recovery if this is what she's stating. So she's very at risk of getting worse. She's already getting delusional. When you're delulu, it gets worse. It can get crazier and crazier. Like I said, she just needs a more activating event. And boom, she'd get way worse.
What's not clocking to y'all? What else
You're delusional. That's the problem.
would you define as healthy if not engaging in
Being of a normalized weight and taking care of other stuff too.
health promoting behaviors?
Normalized weight is healthy.
Because I can tell you for sure it is not thinness.
Thinness within the toxic ritualistic world, so especially within BINGE, thinness means average weight. So yes, it does. Within that context, yes. If you're talking skinny, then not necessarily. That's not necessarily healthy. It depends. There's qualifiers. But it's the same thing where you could be overweight, but you could have muscle, and that would still be healthy. So there's nuance to it. But in general, umbrella terming it, thin is healthy. Average is healthy. Yes. Average weight is healthy within the way that she's thinking of it. Because you have to understand when you are fat, and especially within BINGE, you view anybody that's not fat as thin. It's all the same to you. And people don't get that because a lot of people have just been thin forever. So you don't understand what that means. But I do. And I'm explaining it to you. It means average weight. So she's stating that being of an average weight doesn't matter. That's what she's saying. Because she's coming from a fat perspective. She's coming from a bingo perspective. So that's what that means. Thin to somebody else, it could mean something different. They're subjective terms, but she's purposely using that. I use average weight. I use normalized weight. That's more specific.
Thinness is not just a different word, a synonym for health.
Normalized weight is an aspect of being healthy.
I fear we have.
Okay. So I think I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. I think I can just make this a bit shorter. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, night, etc. And I hope that I'm raising awareness. That's what I want to do. So I will talk to you guys soon. Have a good one. Bye-bye.